This video brings an urgent warning that Jesus specifically wants you to hear. They have laid a dangerous trap designed just for you, and He's deeply concerned you might fall into it. Without recognizing the danger, this isn't just another spiritual video. It contains a divine alert that could save your spiritual life. Jesus cares so deeply about your spiritual safety that He would be heartbroken if you walked into this trap without understanding what's happening. The warning you're about to receive has been carefully arranged to reach you at this exact moment before it's too late. There's a divine appointment happening right now as you watch. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to learn could protect you from a spiritual attack that's been carefully planned against you. This isn't an ordinary spiritual message. It's a divine alert about a dangerous trap that represents a critical threat to your spiritual journey. Jesus has been watching your walk with Him with loving concern, noticing both your spiritual victories and the battles you've been fighting. Missing this particular warning could mean falling into a carefully planned spiritual trap that's been set specifically for people like you. This warning marks a limited time opportunity to recognize and escape this danger before it's too late. Jesus cares so deeply about your spiritual protection that He would be genuinely worried if you failed to see this trap coming. That's why this message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't by chance. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you recognize spiritual warfare that's been targeting you directly. The enemy has been studying your spiritual patterns, but Jesus is revealing their plans to protect you from falling into their carefully laid trap. Every spiritual battle you've fought when the enemy seemed stronger has been witnessed. Every moment of doubt they've planted in your mind during difficult seasons has been noticed. All the times you've felt spiritually attacked, yet continued to seek Jesus anyway, have been honored by heaven. Your spiritual struggles haven't gone unnoticed. Those times when it felt like you were being specifically targeted while others seemed to have peace, Jesus saw your confusion and pain. The moments when your faith felt under constant attack, yet you held on anyway, that persistence was recognized in heaven. The courage it took to keep believing when spiritual warfare intensified around you has been deeply valued. The spiritual attacks you've experienced, sometimes too intense to share with others, have all been acknowledged. Spiritual warfare isn't always obvious, and enemy traps aren't always clear. Sometimes they require spiritual discernment to recognize. Jesus understands this challenge, which is why He's making this particular trap so clear you can't possibly miss it. The trap Jesus wants you to recognize appears disguised as something good, but is actually a carefully planned spiritual attack. This trap shows up in opportunities that seem blessed, but are designed to pull you away from God's true plan for your life. It appears in relationships that feel spiritually significant, but slowly drain your spiritual energy. It emerges in spiritual experiences that seem powerful but actually disconnect you from authentic relationship with Jesus. This trap is uniquely designed for your specific spiritual journey, something the enemy has crafted specifically to catch you off guard. It connects directly to the areas where you've been seeking spiritual growth and answers. Jesus has identified this particular trap because it's been carefully aimed at your spiritual weak points. The window to recognize and escape this trap won't remain open forever. That's why Jesus is concerned you might walk into it. When you finally see it clearly, you'll understand exactly how the enemy planned to use it against your spiritual progress. When you recognize this trap Jesus is revealing, many confusing spiritual attacks you've experienced will suddenly make perfect sense. Unexplained spiritual battles, periods of unusual temptation, and feelings of spiritual oppression will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity. Jesus has wonderful news for you today. Your spiritual discernment is growing stronger, and important protective measures are becoming available to you now. The divine has noticed your faithfulness under spiritual attack, And now you've been chosen to receive this special warning. This moment marks something significant in your spiritual warfare experience. It's a clear indication that your spiritual sensitivity is developing beyond the enemy's ability to deceive you. Something incredibly meaningful is unfolding in your relationship with Jesus. Far deeper spiritual protection than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of this trap begins a spiritual awakening that will strengthen every area of your faith, from your prayer life to your discernment to your understanding of divine protection. There's a wave of heavenly protection surrounding you right now. You're becoming more spiritually discerning about enemy tactics, naturally drawing divine warnings into your daily experience. Recognizing this trap Jesus is showing you brings a heightened awareness of His protection. In even the smallest spiritual battles you face, more spiritual insights about warfare and protection will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this dangerous season you're entering. Your prayers for spiritual protection matter more than you realize. Your spiritual sensitivity inspires heaven to reveal enemy plans before they succeed. Your faith makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere around you. This divine warning shows that Jesus deeply values your spiritual safety and growth. Each spiritual battle you've won, even when victory seemed impossible, has developed your ability to recognize this trap now. Jesus delights when you finally see the enemy schemes He's been trying to show you all along. The timing of this warning is no coincidence. It comes now because you're spiritually ready to recognize and respond to this trap. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in faith and spiritual discernment. Through previous battles, your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see enemy tactics that might have been invisible to you before. Your heart has been strengthened through spiritual warfare. Your wisdom about enemy strategies has deepened through experience. Your soul is now prepared to receive this divine warning more clearly than ever before. All the spiritual attacks you've faced have been preparation for recognizing this particular trap. Nothing in your spiritual battles has been wasted. Every experience has shaped your ability to recognize enemy schemes when they appear. This particular trap is connected to larger spiritual warfare happening against believers right now. Jesus is revealing similar traps to those who are spiritually alert and ready to recognize enemy tactics before falling into them. If you're feeling protected by this divine warning about the trap set for you, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more to support our channel's mission of revealing these important spiritual warnings. Your generosity helps these divine alerts reach those who desperately need protection from enemy traps. When you give, you participate in spiritual warfare that allows us to continue creating content that protects believers from carefully planned attacks in these dangerous spiritual times. As you begin to recognize this trap Jesus is revealing, new spiritual awareness will naturally develop in your life. This clearer vision brings new responsibilities, not just to protect yourself, but to help everyone God places in your path who might be walking into similar traps. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Jesus' work of spiritual protection. This revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity. As someone who can discern enemy tactics, finding balance becomes essential during this spiritually charged time, while avoiding the specific trap that's been set for you. Remember to nurture your spiritual defenses through prayer, scripture, and fellowship. These spiritual disciplines have protected you before and will continue to support you. As you grow into this expanded role as someone who recognizes enemy schemes, Jesus is inviting you to become more than just someone who avoids traps, but a person who helps others recognize spiritual warfare too. As you become sensitive to this trap Jesus is revealing, think about how you can help others who are walking into similar spiritual dangers. Your experience shows that spiritual warfare is constant, even when we fail to recognize enemy tactics. Heaven witnesses every moment of spiritual victory, every recognition of enemy schemes, and every choice to resist spiritual traps. Your story of recognizing this trap brings hope to people feeling spiritually attacked or wondering if the enemy really targets believers today. Your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see the spiritual warfare Jesus is revealing all around them. This warning about the trap isn't meant to be a private blessing. It's an invitation to help others experience the same spiritual protection. Jesus often works through those who have recently recognized enemy tactics to help awaken others who are still missing the signs of spiritual warfare targeting them. Your newfound awareness serves as both personal protection and ministry opportunity to protect other believers. As you navigate this new level of spiritual discernment about enemy traps, stay consistently alert. Jesus reminds you that while recognizing one trap is wonderful, it's just the beginning of a lifetime of spiritual warfare awareness. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see this trap in the first place. Guard against returning to spiritual complacency that made you vulnerable to enemy schemes in the past. Let your spiritual awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to Jesus' protective guidance. With this new ability to recognize spiritual traps comes ongoing responsibility to remain watchful and responsive. Use this gift wisely to discern true spiritual warfare from ordinary life challenges. Not every difficulty is a spiritual attack, but Jesus will make truly dangerous traps unmistakable when you stay connected to Him. Embrace this journey of spiritual protection with both humility and confidence. The enemy will try new tactics, but your growing discernment through Jesus will always stay ahead of their schemes. Picture a future where you consistently recognize enemy traps before walking into them. Imagine divine protection surrounding every area of your life, spiritual warnings arriving precisely when needed, and your understanding of spiritual warfare expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. Jesus stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of spiritual discernment with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine protection through recognizing enemy tactics. This marks the beginning of a time when your spiritual perception, wisdom, and heart will be more aligned with heaven's protective power than ever before. Accept this blessing with gratitude, and remember that you're surrounded by divine support on this journey of spiritual warfare. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience Jesus' protection through warnings that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually alert eyes. What joy awaits as you learn to recognize and defeat every trap the enemy tries to set against you. If this protective message has awakened something in your spirit, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine warnings with believers who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others recognize the traps the enemy is setting in these spiritually dangerous times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you're seeing this trap clearly, type 888 in the comments below as your declaration of spiritual awareness. The journey of recognizing enemy traps continues beyond this revelation as you step into new spiritual awareness about the trap that was set for you. Stay grounded in prayer and scripture that keeps your discernment sharp and accurate. Every trap you recognize could be the exact warning someone else has been waiting to see about their own spiritual battles. Your growing spiritual sensitivity serves as inspiration for others wondering if spiritual warfare is real today. Move forward with an alert heart, a discerning mind, and a protected spirit ready to help others avoid similar traps. Create opportunities for others to recognize spiritual warfare as you enjoy the protection coming your way. the spiritual language of warfare. And protection has always been part of how Jesus guards those who love him. By choosing to stay alert, you join a long tradition of faithful believers who have learned to recognize and defeat every scheme the enemy tries to use against them.